Hey, welcome to Richard's Auto Repair. Today I'm going to show you how to test a coil on plugs, and I'm going to show you how to take a compression reading. So what we're going to do, we're going to do this on each cylinder, coil and compression. So we're just going to take this nut off, pull the plug out, leave it connected, put the nut back on there because I'll lose them. We're going to take this coil tester. We're going to want to connect the ground clamp to a ground source that's grounded, and we're going to stick that in the end of the coil, and you're going to be able to see this light up. If it's a healthy coil, you're going to see a blue spark. I'm going to start it up and you'll be able to see that spark that I'm talking about. That's all it is to testing a coil. That's simple. We're going to do it on all, I don't know, maybe 6 cylinders, 8 cylinders, depending on how difficult it is to get in the back cylinders. So we're going to take the spark plug out now. And be cautious about working on warm engines. You could strip your spark plug well. That's not what you want. So we're going to pull the plug out. The plug looks decent. These are new plugs. And if you are just replacing your own spark plugs, you should use a little bit of Never Seez on them, so it'll be easier to get out next time. So we're going to take this adapter hose, that's a 14 millimeter. Yeah, 14 millimeter. You're going to put it in the plug well, and you're going to thread it in just like a spark plug. Once you get it in by hand, you don't need to crank it down. There's an O-ring on there to cinch it tight. You're going to connect this quick connect fitting coupler, just like an air compressor. You just put that on the window so you can see it if you're working by yourself. And you're going to give it 4 or 5 reps. First, we're going to disconnect all the coils, so the engine won't turn on. You can makeshift a wet compression test just by taking half of the reading that you would get on a running engine, and you can call that a wet compression test, as if you put some oil in the cylinder and then you did your compression. But that's not what we're doing here. Make sure we got all of them unplugged so it doesn't fire up. And we're going to see what our compression is on cylinder 1. Looks like you have roughly 150, 140, 130, 15. And we're going to write it down. I did this test on cylinder 1 previously, and it was 150. So we're going to do cylinder 1 and cylinder 2. That's how you can tell which bank it is. Whatever cylinder 1 is on, that's bank 1. Whatever cylinder 2 is on, that's bank 2. Say if you have a lean code on bank 2, it's going to be that side of the motor. Whether it's the intake manifold's leaking on bank 2 side, or you have a leak in your exhaust manifold, whether you have an O2 sensor, it's on bank 2, pre-cat, or that's how you tell. So we're going to take this apart and we're going to go to cylinder number 2. Guess you can undo that first. Really doesn't matter. So we're going to pull this hose out. We're We're going to put the spark plug back in and install it. You don't need to get these super tight. You don't need a torque wrench to them. You should need to get them moderately tight just by hand. You don't need to overdo it and strip the threads. That's not what you want. You don't want to have to pull the head or stick a tap down there. Then you just put the nut back on. The nut is a 10 millimeter and the spark plug is a 5/8. So that's pretty much all there is to it. We're going to go around and do cylinder number 2, cylinder number 3. You'll stay with me and see how it's done. I like to put all my tools up here so I know where to find them when I need them. This one's a little tricky, but your vacuum line and your heater hose. So we're just loosening that 10 millimeter nut. You're going to pull it off slowly without burning yourself on the heater pipe. Fallen pin. We're just kind of wiggle it around and pull it out. Put the nut right there. And we'll get your number 1 plug. Plug in the coil. And put your tester in there, just like we did on cylinder 1. Like the rest of the coils. Pretty simple. You want to make sure you can see it. You'll be able to tell pretty quickly if you have a weak coil. And if you're doing compression, you might as well check the coil and look at the plugs. So, and at this angle, you'll be able to see the coil as I start the vehicle. Like a weak coil. You're getting enough of it. I keep an eye on that coil. Currently it's still firing, but keep an eye on it. So now we're going to unplug the coils on both sides, and we're going to pull out the spark plug. And we're going to do a compression test. Here, how's this hot? This one can be difficult to get around, so you just gotta, there we go. The plugs went in there very tight. You gotta fight your way around all these vacuum hoses. Your PVC pipe.
Because if I want to replace all 8 of them, it's about a $200 bill.
Yeah. Yep. I was looking at
because, you know, who knows that somebody replaced maybe 1 or 2 of these.
You can buy them off Amazon for like $15 each. You see, plug is still good. You don't have to worry about replacing plugs. John already replaced his plugs with platinum. Middle road, not the best, not the worst. Car run just fine. Won't have any problems. We're gonna plug the adapter hose in the spark plug well, like we did on cylinder 1. Get in there without being burned. That's ideal. Just put that over there. Yeah, there we go.
I'm thinking about putting a 5/8 cut it up in half, split it, and put it on that tube there. In some sections. I'm tired of, you know,
What are you talking about?
for the fucking heat.
You're talking about the heater hose line?
Yeah.
Cutting the heater hose line?
No, like cut up a 5/8 hose in half, like in the center, and then put it over this aluminum pipe. Not all of it, just in sections.
I wouldn't mess it up. You can if you want. I always help you do your ridiculous experiments, as I do with all my friends. I assist them all. Now we're gonna plug all the coils back in so the vehicle starts temporarily. Plug cylinder 7. Now we're going to check compression. Keep them all unplugged, Emmett. Unplug them for compression test, plug them in for coil. Gotta admit, John is a good listener. Look at the compression. There's pretty close to 150, was it? 145 and a half? Close enough, we'll call it 150. We'll go over here to our sheet. Pick up the pen I dropped. Say 150 PSI. You're gonna go through all cylinders doing that, and you're gonna see it's not so important that you know every spec for each cylinder for your vehicle, as long as they're relatively within 10% of every other cylinder. And that's really where you get into leak down testing, is your 10% mark. But right now we're just checking, and it's not important to know exact if it 165 and a half. Nobody cares about that. If they're all 150 or 145 or even 140, you're more than fine. But you're just looking for them to be the same or close to it. So button the cylinder up, release the air. Disconnect your compression tester. Unthread your hose. We're going to reinstall the spark plug. You have a glove or something? Hot stuff. Hot stuff. We're gonna take wherever I did with that 5/8 socket and extension, and we're gonna tighten it back down. I did with that 5/8 extension?
It's right there.
Where do you see it?
It's in the 5/8, right? Extension and all?
Yeah, where
Or
is
another one.
it? Yeah, where is it? You see it?
Yeah, it's right there. Isn't it? You left it in there.
Shut up, John.
I thought you were talking about another one.
Long day. Long day. Don't judge me. We're going to tighten that back down.
Since you're over there, just go ahead and do number 3 or 4.
I'll do them in order. I don't want to confuse anyone. Make sure everyone knows the difference. Because I've had to do jobs where they've had a mobile mechanic come out and they swear that it's 1, 2, 3, 4 like the majority of the Dodge motors, but it was a Ford and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're gonna be a mobile mechanic, that's fine. If you don't know what you're doing, that's also fine. At least take the time and Google it. It's fine if you don't know everything. Know everything before you get to the job and screw somebody's car up. Or tell someone they have a bunch of crap wrong when they don't. I worked on my friend's car and they told him that he might have a bad coil, but they're not sure. So he came out, I tested his coils, and well, they were bad. It was cylinder 2 and cylinder 8, I believe. But he didn't have a real idea in the hell what he was doing. So he came to me. I had all the tools. Test his coils, test his plugs. He needed new plugs too. And I was able to confirm with beyond a doubt that he had 2 bad coils, and that was the reason he was misfiring. But the other guy spent, I think he spent $300 of my friend's money, and there was no change in the car, replacing a bunch of things that didn't need replaced. That's why this industry is so hard. You have people that don't know what they're doing, underqualified, and they're just trying to rip you off just to get some money. That's why taking the time, buying a $8 tester is a good idea. Don't just guess on this stuff. Don't be a part changer. You know, don't be a professional in swaptronics. Test. 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 Alright. Now we're going to plug the rest of the cylinders back in.
Nope, wrong one.
Nope, you're right. We're going to keep them unplugged. Because we're going to do a compression test after I find my compression tester. And we're going to check the compression of this motor. Okay. Alright, look at that. And that's close enough to 150. 145? It's fine. .145 PSI. I don't think we tested that. That coil on number 3. But we're going to. We're going to go ahead and let out the pressure. Disconnect it. Throw it back there by the windshield. We know where to find it. Pull that plug out. Put the spark plug back in. avoiding the extremely hot heater hose. And what's kind of nice about the 4.7 is they actually tell you, if you can see right here, they actually tell you what cylinder it is. 1, 2, 3, just in case if you didn't know. If you were confused. It's okay to not know something or be confused. But it's not okay to assume you know everything and make some big mistake and ruin somebody's car. If you don't know, look it up. Now we're going to get the coil. We're going to plug the coil in. We're going to stick the coil tester in the coil.
I'm going to plug all those in and then
start the car after we plug all the coils in. Wherever that pin went. I'm going to plug in here to make sure we got all those on that side. We're good. It doesn't hurt just to take a half a second to test the coil when you're replacing plugs or if you're testing compression. You might think you have a compression problem. Let's say you have a stubborn misfire that won't go away. You change your spark plug and you haven't really checked your coil just to see whether it's firing or not. But you haven't really seen how good it fires, the spark on it, or how far the spark travels. It could be all it is just a bad coil. Alright, we're going to go on this side again. Do the same thing. Pretty sure you get an idea about this time. This is cylinder 4. Coil, plug the coil in, plug the tester into the coil, check the coil. Just as we did a cylinder phase, going through every cylinder and doing it. That looks good. You can also hear it fire. Being an electrical problem, it's not different. You want to switch that back to the coil driver and your PCM, the wiring. Make sure you're getting voltage. I did an inspector pulse test. It's pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing, the same deal. Just make sure you're getting, I think it's 12 volts. Could be wrong, I'm not entirely sure on that. And we're gonna pull the plug just like we did on the other cylinders. There's the plug. Plug's fine. Let's put it over here. I'm going to put the hose and the plug well. We'll thread it in here. Unplug all the coils. Start it up as soon as John's hand's touching it, so we can shoot the shit out of him.
Yeah. I don't want to do that again.
Oh, I did that once. Oh, I'll never forget it. Let's get a couple more. What's it at?
About 150.
150.
Damn.
Like I said, when I first saw your car, I didn't have any worries about it. It felt strong. Wherever I drop the pin to, it's going to be some unseeable, ridiculous place. We're going to remember that's 150 because that's what all the cylinders are going to be. Because the car isn't jumping around or anything. So, what are we going to do? Out there. Plug the tester, unthread it, reinstall the spark plug. I did a video on the OTC Deluxe compression tester, just showing the kit, what is used, what part goes where, and this is a video of actually diagnosing a vehicle with that kit. So be sure to check out that video if you're curious about the kit. And this is the kit that services the 5.4 Ford Triton as well. So that's not the cheap one. That's the real deal. So let's put the coil back in. Different cylinder, same song. Plug it back in, put the nut back on it. Just tighten it down a little bit. Not too tight, you'll crack the plastic on your coil. It's not what you want. Alright, I'll just put this over here, put that over there, pop the cylinder 4. No, that was cylinder 4. Pop the cylinder 6. We're going to put all these back on. You're going to grab those other side. And we're going to pull cylinder 6 out. Well, not the actual cylinder, but the plug and coil of cylinder 6. I might have a video of replacing rod bearing. I have a customer asking about that, so that might be a video that I'll be doing. You just replace the bearing on the connecting rod underneath and drop the oil pan. And hopefully not have to pull the head, but sometimes you got to pull the piston too. So we'll see if that pans out what they want to do.
You want to do the coil first, right?
Huh? Yeah, I'll do compression first. Since I'm already a little beat.
That means I got to undo all of them.
Oh well. I've been a little scatterbrained this whole week. As long as it gets done in a timely manner, that's all that matters. Not like I'm on a time at this point.
Nope, we're just wasting time.
Oh, wasting time, drinking some soda, BS and shooting the breeze. So again, you know, I always just put it on the windshield so I can see it.
Hold on.
again? Oh, alright. All good on their side?
Mm-hmm.
Start with that.
Do it one more time. It's about 150. Well, actually, it is 150.
Yeah, it's like a pube's width away from 150. 155 for me. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and plug all those in. We're going to test the coil. We're going to remove this adapter hose. We're going to put the spark plug back in. Tighten this down real quick. Oh, what you got going on over there?
It was ripping the hose. Yep.
Oh, no bueno.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace those.
Oh, did I do it?
It looks like it was already doing it anyway. Just get some 5/8 hose and do it.
Oh, you done it.
The valve cover back in here. Just need.
Oh, you talking about those breather hoses?
Yeah.
Oh, I just gotta take it. Put your nut back on. And just tighten it down a little bit, just like we have been doing. Just as when you go along. I'll put that back up there. Go to the other side. What happened? A split? A split? What are you talking about?
It was starting to split.
Oh, all right there.
Yeah.
Starting to split all over the place. That's what I was telling you about the other one on my car. See that?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know they get bad.
That's why I figured I can just put a 5/8 hose on it.
I found out. Yeah, well, we show everyone here since we're talking. That right there is your breather elbow. See those little splits right there? That's when it goes bad.